Hello class, today we are looking at Chapter 7, Lesson 4, Similar Figures. So sometimes you want an image to be larger or smaller than the original. Similar figures have the same shape but not necessarily the same size. Let's write that down. Okay, so similar figures have the same shape but not necessarily the same size. The ratios of the lengths of corresponding sides in similar figures are proportional. So the symbol, this symbol here, means is similar to. If two polygons are similar size, similar polygons, the corresponding angles are congruent and the lengths of the corresponding sides are in proportion. Let's write that down. Okay, so similar polygons, the angles are congruent, so the angles are the same, and the lengths of the corresponding sides are in proportion. So for example, they might all be twice as big, so it'd be times 2 or plus 4 to each of the sides. Okay, so they're all the same proportion. So let's look at identifying similar polygons. So if we have a rectangle and the rectangle LMNO is similar to the rectangle HIJK, okay? So let's just kind of sketch this out. So if we have one rectangle that is LMNO and we have another rectangle it's about half the size, that is HIJK. Explain. So this tells us L is congruent to H, M is congruent to I. See, I'm reading it right here. N is congruent to J, and O is congruent to K. So let's look at the proportion. So therefore, if we have, oh, and it actually gives us, I didn't write this in our notes, but it shows that this is 10 and this is 8. This is 3 and this is 4. Okay, so we look at MN. So if we have MN is equal or this to IJ, and LM is equal to HI, this is our proportion, okay? And then we want to substitute the proportion in for the side measurements. So if we look at MN is going to be a 4 over IJ, it's going to be 3, is equal to LM is 10 over HI is 8. Okay, so what we want to do is now cross multiply. Okay, so if we go 3 times 10 is going to equal 30, and 4 times 8 equals 32. Do those equal each other? No. So therefore, these are not proportional. The corresponding angles are congruent, but the corresponding sides are not proportional. So the rectangles are not similar. Okay? So now let's take a look at this next one. If we have the rectangle EFGH has the side lengths of 18 and 27. So if we go 18 and 27, and the rectangle LMNO has the side lengths of 36 and 54. Okay, so see, I just put the bottom rectangle, the lengths of the bottom ones on the bottom, and right, 18 smaller than 27, 36 is smaller than 54. So that's how I set them up. And now we're going to cross multiply to see if they are equal. So 36 times 27 equals 972, and 18 times 54 equals 972. So therefore, yes, the corresponding angles are congruent, and sides are proportional. Okay? I guess I should have put yes. Are the rectangles similar? Yes. The corresponding angles are congruent, and the sides are proportional. Okay. So now let's look at this example. You're designing a poster. A sketch for the letter H is shown. The letter will be 9 inches tall on the poster. If the two letters are similar, what is the width of the poster? So we see that this is 5. That's where we got that, by 4. So if this is 9, then what is this? So all we have to do is cross multiply. So we have 5 times W, because, right, we crossed multiplied that way. And then 9 times 4. So then we have 5W equals 36 to simplify. To get W by itself, we're going to divide each side by 5. Then we simplify, x equals 7.2. The width of the letters is 7.2. So as long as we're given 3 of the sides of the first one and one side of the second one, if we're told they are similar, we can find the last one. So if the letter H on the poster board has a height of 14, what is its width? So let's set up the equation just like before. So we have the height is 5, the width is 4, and we now know that the height is 14. and we want to know what is the width. So solve that equation, come back to me when you're done. Okay, so you should have got 11.2 inches was the width. Okay, so now let's look at overlapping similar triangles. So if you have triangles that are overlapping, you can split them apart. So the first thing we want to do is separate the triangles. So that's what I did down below here, is I just took each triangle and, oops, there we go, and separated it, so you now have two triangles. And now we're going to write a proportion for it. So let's fill in where it says these lengths. So this length AB is 18 feet, and we don't know what ED is. Notice it just has the X there. This one is 16, and that little part was 8, so this is going to be 8 plus 16. See, this plus this equals this long one. Okay, and so let's write a proportion. So we have 8 plus 16 is going to equal 24. So that's what we know there now. So 18 is to x. So 18 over x is the same as 24 over 16. So we want to cross product, so you know how we multiply across the way. So that's going to equal 24x is equal to 16 times 18 equals 288. So, oh, I guess I was supposed to write that out for you. It was supposed to be like this, 18 times 16, and then it wants us to simplify. So 24x equals 288. We want to divide by 24 on each side. Those are going to cross out. 288 divided by 24. We're going to simplify. X equals 12. Okay. So that means the value of x right here equals 12. So if DC is 14 feet, what is the length of AC? So same thing, let's set it up in the same way, but now we're going to have to look at, you know, what this one is going to be. So let's call that V. Okay, so now we're going to choose two sides that are similar. So let's just stick with 18 and 12, and then V and 14. So if we have 18 is the same as 12, and that's going to be V is the same as 14. Cross multiply. So we have 12V equals 14 times 18, which is 252. Get V by itself, so divide by 12. And therefore V equals 21. Okay, so your homework is page 230 and 231, number 3 through 15 odd. So just remember, if you're checking congruency, if you are checking proportion, you are just going to multiply, cross multiply, and if they're equal, then it is that they are similar. If they are not equal, they are not. So if this had a side of 4 and 6, and this one had a side of 7 and 9, we're going to cross multiply. So 7 times 6 is 42. 9 times 4 is 36. Is 36 equal to 42? No. So therefore they are not similar. Okay? As long as they equal each other, then they are similar. If you do not have a side, so if you have a missing side, just make sure that you have the top numbers are the length and the width of one, and the bottom is the length and the width of the other, or the height and the width. Okay? So don't put the same ones on top of each other. Make sure you do the height to the height, the width to the width. And therefore, if you didn't know one of them, then you could just leave it as a W or H, cross multiply, and solve the equation to find the missing number. If you have, you will try to pull two objects apart. So if you have, for example, lengths like this, and this says 30 and this says 60, if you want the whole length, you're going to have to add these two numbers together. Okay? But you'll want to split them apart first, and then be able to tell if they are similar figures. Okay? Hope that's helpful. Happy homeworking. Please come to class if you have any questions. I'd be happy to help you through this.